It's 2 in the morning. Your dog has a perfectly comfortable bed on the other side of the room, and yet here they are, pressed against your legs, stealing your blanket. It occupies 80% of the mattress, leaving the rest for you. Most people call it clinginess. Some call it a bad habit. But what behavioral neuroscientists discovered when they actually studied this, the chemistry, the neurology, the evolutionary biology behind why your dog does this every single night, completely changes what this moment actually means. This isn't about warmth. This isn't about habit. What your dog is communicating when they climb into bed beside you is one of the most extraordinary things one species has ever said to another. And by the end of this video, you will never look at your dog the same way again. Most owners reach for the simplest explanation. Dogs sleep beside us because we're warm. It sounds reasonable. Dogs get cold. Humans radiate heat. Endos. Story. Except it completely falls apart the moment you look at it carefully. Your dog has access to sunny spots on the floor, a couch, a radiator, and in most homes, a pile of your laundry they've already claimed as their own. If temperature was the goal, they've options, better options, quieter options, options that don't involve sharing space with a creature 15 times their size. And yet every single night, they walk past all of it and choose you. To understand why, you have to understand what sleep actually is for an animal. Sleep is the most vulnerable state any living creature can enter. Every instinct, inherited from thousands of years of predator-prey, survival is screaming at your dog's nervous system to find somewhere hidden, somewhere small, somewhere safe, before losing consciousness. And instead, your dog walks into your bedroom and lies down next to you. That decision is not casual. Researchers at ETV's Lorand University in Budapest took the same attachment test that developmental psychologists used to study human infants, Ainsworth's strange situation procedure, and applied it directly to dogs. What they found was striking. Dogs form attachment bonds with their owners that are functionally identical to the bond the human infant forms with its mother. The same proximity-seeking behavior, the same distress response when separated, the same visible calm when 61% of the dogs tested were classified as securely attached, almost exactly the same proportion found in human toddlers across decades of child psychology research. When your dog chooses to sleep beside you, they are performing the most fundamental behavior in attachment science. They are seeking closeness to their safe person at the exact moment they are most vulnerable. That is not clinging. That is one of the deepest expressions of trust one creature can show another. The psychology alone is remarkable, but what is happening at the chemical level while your dog sleeps pressed against you makes it even harder to dismiss. In 2015, researchers at Asabu University in Japan published a study in the journal Science measuring oxytocin levels in 30 dog owner pairs during direct interaction. Oxytocin is the neurochemical released when humans feel genuine emotional bonding. The same molecule that floods a mother's brain when she holds her newborn for the first time. It is one of the most powerful bonding chemicals the mammalian brain produces. What the researchers found was extraordinary. When a dog gazes at their owner, and the owner gazes back, both of them experience a measurable surge in oxytocin, simultaneously, across species. The dog's levels rise. The owner's levels rise. That surge makes the dog want to maintain eye contact longer. Longer contact releases more oxytocin in the owner. The owner bonds more deeply, gazes back again, and the cycle reinforces itself, over and over, without either participant doing anything deliberate. The researchers ran the same experiment with wolves that had been raised by humans from birth, animals that had spent their entire lives around people. The loop did not activate, not even slightly. This neurochemical feedback system co-evolved specifically between dogs and humans over roughly 15,000 years of shared living. No other animal on Earth participates in it, and physical contact amplifies the effect significantly. Studies found that just 10 minutes of petting your dog produces measurable drops in cortisol, your primary stress hormone in both of you. Now consider what happens over 8 hours of sleeping in direct contact. The cumulative neurochemical effect of one night spent beside a dog you are bonded to is something most people are experiencing without realizing what it actually is. Here's a question almost nobody thinks to ask. When exactly did humans and dogs start sleeping next to each other? The answer is, essentially, from the very beginning. Dogs are the only animal domesticated before agriculture, before farming, before permanent settlements. Before written language, roughly 15,000 years ago, wolves began approaching human campsites. They were drawn by food scraps, fire, and warmth. The wolves least likely to flee, the ones whose temperament allowed them to tolerate close proximity to humans, survived better. They reproduced more successfully, generation after generation. That trait compounded. Eventually, they were not wolves anymore. In Germany, archaeologists uncovered a burial site dated to 14,000 years ago. 2 humans interred together, and beside them, 2 dogs. But the detail that changes the interpretation entirely is this. One of those dogs had survived canine distemper, a disease that kills within weeks without intensive care. That dog had been kept alive by a human for over a month. Someone had nursed an animal through a terminal illness 14,000 years ago. These were not working tools. They were family. Geneticists have since confirmed this at the molecular level. Domestic dogs carry unique genetic insertions on chromosome 6, a region directly associated with extreme sociability and human-directed contact seeking. Wolves carry none of them. Your dog was literally shaped at the genetic level across millennia to want to be near you. Sleeping beside you is not unusual behavior. It is the outcome of 15,000 years of selection pressure pointing in a single direction. Now, here is where the research produces something that looks like a paradox. Scientists at the Mayo Clinic tracked the sleep quality of 40 adults and their dogs over 7 nights using clinical-grade trackers on both species. The objective data was clear. Dogs disrupted human sleep. Movement, repositioning, the occasional middle-of-the-night stretch. The numbers were worse, and yet almost every participant reported feeling more comfortable, more secure, and more rested when the dog was in the room. A researcher at Canisius College surveying nearly 1,000 women found that dogs were rated as less disruptive than human bed partners. More comforting and more consistent. Follow-up motion tracking revealed why. Owners were waking briefly every time the dog shifted, but almost never remembered it by morning. The physical disruption was real, but the felt experience of safety was stronger than the data. A 2024 study from the University of Jyväskylä in Finland took this further than anyone had before. Researchers monitored the heart rate variability of 30 dog owner pairs across 6 different conditions. Heart rate variability, HRV, is one of the most reliable measures of how the autonomic nervous system is functioning. High HRV indicates a calm, regulated state. Low HRV signals an activated stress response. The finding was this. During every condition tested, dogs and their owners showed correlated HRV patterns. Their nervous systems were moving in sync. When the owner was calm, the dog was calm. When the owner was under stress, the dog's autonomic state shifted accordingly, and the synchronization was strongest during rest, during sleep. The researchers ran the same measurements with dogs and strangers. There was no synchronization whatsoever. This effect only appears within bonded pairs. What this tells us is that sleeping beside your dog is not simply a psychological comfort. It is a neurological event to separate nervous systems from 2 entirely different species, co-regulating each other across the night. But there is one final thing every dog owner needs to know, and it may be the most practically important information in this video. If your dog has slept beside you every night for months or years, and one day they stop, do not dismiss it. Dogs are creatures of deep habit. When an established behavior disappears without explanation, there is always a cause. Occasionally it is environmental, a new animal in the home, a change in your schedule, a shift in the household dynamic. Dogs read their environment with a precision most people underestimate. Something that feels insignificant to you can register as a major disruption to them. But sometimes, the reason is physical. Veterinary researchers have documented that changes in sleep location are among the earliest behavioral indicators of pain, appearing before any visible limping, stiffness, or obvious physical symptom. A dog that suddenly stops jumping onto the bed may not have decided they prefer the floor. They may be hurting and cannot tell you in any other way. In older dogs, specifically, disrupted sleep behavior is the primary early symptom of canine cognitive dysfunction, the neurological condition equivalent to dementia in humans. It affects an estimated 35% of dogs over the age of 8. The behavior changes before anything else does. Your dog does not have language. Behavior is their only available vocabulary. When that vocabulary changes, it deserves your full attention. So the next time you find yourself with 6 inches of mattress and 80 pounds of dog pressed against your legs at 3 in the morning, remember what is actually happening. 15,000 years of shared evolution, a neurochemical feedback loop that no other animal on Earth participates in, an attachment system that neuroscientists classify alongside the bond between a parent and child. All of it, every night, pointed at a single conclusion. Your dog chose you, not the floor, not the couch, not the warm patch by the window. You, because sleeping beside you is the safest place in their entire world. And the science is increasingly clear that it might be doing something for you too.